स्वागत है। नमस्कार।
Hari Om, Namaskar. There are some key words, first of all, in the context, that is Anantam Vishwatomukham, Sarvaschiryamayam, Divisurya Sahasrasya, Hekastam Jagatskrishnam, Krishtaroma, Vismaya, Pranamya, Krutanjali, Brahmanamisham Kamasanastam, Sarvamstadha, Bhuta Vishesha Sanghan. These are the key words which are comprising this episode. So in this Ashcharya तब होता है when the human mind in psychology, as a practicing behavioral scientist myself and a researcher in behavioral science and psychology, the human mind looks for patterns, the familiar patterns in the psychology, to understand what it perceives in the world. And the विश्व में जो भी चराचर जगत जो दृश्यमान जगत है, and इतना तक कि quantum scientists are saying that, like Swamini ji was saying, and whatever the sun is appearing because he is existing or because we are perceiving him to be existing. So that is the quantum level of perception. In human psychology also, we tend to understand based on the familiarity with which we operate. Whether that familiarity is a limitation or it's because of your training or ignorance or knowledge, whatever it is, because it is relative in terms of the others who are possessing the higher knowledge. So without understanding the philosophy, the concept behind this psychological aspect, it would be a futile exercise to make lewd comments like Durdasha, Durbhagya, and Bhajan Karna, and Ratta Marna, या मंत्र पढ़ना कुछ नहीं होने वाला. These kind of lewd comments comes out of little understanding with ignorance. That is why. And looking at the scientific temperament, the world scientists have found and then are coming back to what is said in Sanatan itself. I will give you this thing. What are the modern scientists saying? There is somebody called Brian Greene. Brian Greene came up with 9 types of multiverses. We are talking about Vishwarupa, that is the universe and cosmos in our parlance in Sanatana, which is हमको इसीलिए प्राप्त हुआ है जो वेदों में है. वेदों में रहने से को क्या होता है? लाइब्रेरी में रहने से, यूनिवर्सिटी में बुक्स रहने से, बड़े बड़े प्रोफेसर रहने से कुछ नहीं होने वाला. We have to make an effort and go there and then read that book. Even if we read that book, all the engineering colleges have got the same textbook. But why do people go to very well-known universities with well-known scholars? And even sadiyons people go to Sadgurus, not the guys who keep the name as Sadguru, but the Acharyas and then Srotriyam, Brahma Vidwan, those are the people. So those are the people, they go that Vidip Pranipatena Pariprashnena Sevaya. And with that they go there and then they do. And Arjun ऐरा डेरा आदमी नहीं है, तो सभी को नहीं दिया गया है, सभी देख नहीं पाए जो दिविसूर्य सहस्र से हो या जो भी हो. Our problem, our limitation of the modern scientific temperament and thinking is that we want to see and understand everything from the prism of a Western mind or an English mind or a scientific, so-called scientific mind. That itself could be a limitation. To translate, अनुवाद की जब बात चल रही to translate something, ये मूल जानने की भी बहुत आवश्यकता होती है. मूल जाने बिना translate करे तो that would become an interpretation and a biased view or an opinion. And hence it is important to study. And those who study, because people who have studied that and then mastered and then passing through an oral tradition, through generations, this Sanskriti, this Sanatan Dharma is still alive, not because of the Max Muller's translation or some Chand scientific temperaments, and people who have gone abroad for fetch a few dollars or a comfortable life, not because of them. It is because of the orthodox and the people who practice the rituals, who have committed themselves here in this country and who have passed on through generations. and it took only some 18 years to 15 years for some countries like Lebanon and all to convert into a different religion, whereas for millennia people could not completely turn it. So there is a way of looking at it. Either we want to present a cynical picture sitting abroad, or we want to understand the proper knowledge, and then what has been the सौभाग्य जो सनातन की सौभाग्य क्या है वो जानने की कृषि करे तो अच्छा रहेगा. And coming to talk about universes, there are several terminologies thrown around: universe, multiverse, megaverse, gigaverse, teraverse, petaverse, omniverse, archverse, hyperverse, xenoverse, and finally they are talking about godverse. And what are these verses? They think that by talking about those many verses which I just listed down, they think that they are versatile. But we, in order to understand these many verses, एक वर्ष को जानो जो भगवद गीता में है, जो श्लोक बोलते हैं संस्कृत में, वो एक वर्ष से ये सभी वर्ष हमको अवगत हो जाते हैं. वो करने के लिए देर इज एन एफर्ट. People who cannot make that effort, people who cannot make that ritual, because चित्त शुद्धि जिसको होता है उन्हीं को ज्ञान प्राप्ति होता है, सही ज्ञान की प्राप्ति, उन्हीं को दिव्य चक्षु दिव्य ज्ञान मिलता है. तो जो असली रूप को जानने के लिए, जो भगवान की रूप हो या चतुर्मुख ब्रह्मा हो या चतुर्भुज विष्णु हो, जो भी हो, अनंत सहस्त्र अक्ष सहस्त्रपाद हो, तो वो आयरे गहरे को नहीं मिलता. या पश्यति सपश्यति, that people who are ready and then prepared, only trained mind, by just रट्टा मारने से E is equal to mc square से relativity theory नहीं आ जाता, या हम ब्रह्मास्मि करके बोलने से नहीं होता. While I am saying both, but in order to understand the deeper meaning of Aham Brahmasmi or any other Mahavakya, you need to have a Janmantara preparation for that preparation. It will make you prepare this knowledge, and then the gurus and the books, that divine knowledge and the great knowledge is available. And because we do not make that effort, we make lewd comments, and which is preposterous and then ignorant, I think. And coming to these verses, we say that in our Sanatana Dharma, Aneka Koti Brahmanda Naika. Long back when I was a kid, and from there onwards, I have been watching some Hollywood movies, especially Steven Spielberg has made. Long back, some 40 years, I have seen a movie called Close Encounters of the Third Kind. जो भी ह्यूमन फॉर्म है, it is a panchbhautatmika sharira that we have. And there are other universes also. The belief system is that which are unknown to us, and then they say beyond us. The dark matter, they say, some other outer market, they are saying supernova, they are saying, and then beyond, they are saying finally. The quantum scientists and then other physicists. There is nothing beyond, because it is sarvavyapi and omnipresent, just like Swami Sadindyananda just said. जो सर्वव्यापी होता है, जो there is nothing like beyond. It is everywhere and now here. To understand that, Spielberg in his movie has depicted, because the human imagination, like that extraterrestrial, there are aliens, and there are Avatar, there are several movies which have depicted the human imagination of existence of the extraterrestrial beings, and then the other planets and other universes. There are existing, and people have come to accept that there are existence of other universes, and the unfound objects, and then the aliens are coming from other planets and then universes. They may not be like पांचभौतिक शरीर मिट्टी से बनाया हुआ या पांचभौतिक हमारे जैसा शायद दिखते नहीं है. But they have cracked. The science has cracked, and then the movies have shown. The Hollywood movies. In that, Close Encounter to the Third Kind, जो तेजोआत्मक शरीर के लोग जो वहां से आते हैं, and this man, the scientist who is working at home, he sees that from the unfound object, the flying saucer, and I was like bewildered, like Arjuna, आश्चर्यचकित हो गया था मैं. And after that, there are several advanced movies have come, because movies are one way of depicting the human imagination. Otherwise, there is no way we have seen. No, जब किरीट पहन के होता है, या गदा होता है, या चक्र होता है, किसको मालूम है, या कोदंड होता है, या त्रिशूल होता है. All that is human imagination, and then taken from the books and Puranas only, the depiction, and they have shown it in the form of the movies. And throwing the same analogy into the scientific thinking, the movies have been made, and through that हमें मालूम होता है कि if there is an existence of other bodies in other worlds, it could be a water bodies, could be fire bodies, could be akash bodies, or vayu bodies, or air bodies, and which may not be visible to us with the common eye. To understand them, to see and then communicate with them, and in that movie that is shown by Spielberg, the greatest director with a great imagination, and we have to learn their language. तो इन ऑर्डर टू अंडरस्टैंड द सनातन ज्ञान इसीलिए संस्कृत की ज्ञान की आवश्यकता होता है. And same thing with any language, even if I keep talking in my Telugu, which is my mother tongue, none of you will understand. That is why we have taken the lingua franca, or the common language, which is English. And we have, just because we, in order to communicate, we use English doesn't make us any smarter or superior or anything like that. Or people who have the local language or the local rituals and then the local jnana any inferior. So if we develop that kind of a healthy, say the so-called secular and secure and an open mind to accept and to approach with an open mind, then there is a possibility of a विश्व रूप संदर्शना दर्शना. ये जो विश्व का निज रूप जो है वो हमें अच्छी तरह और clearly and in its original form it is easy to understand. जब तक वो open mind नहीं रहता है, जब तक we have a preferred biased mind और in अपने ही जगत में हम लोग रहते हैं, हम देख नहीं पाएंगे कभी भी, and we tend to unnecessarily exhibit our wisdom or lack of it. Thank you.
Right.